Breaking news: Russia. Nearly a month after the launch of Chandrayaan-3, Russia launches a spacecraft toward the Moon. Russia's first moon mission in nearly 50 years has successfully launched with the launch of a rocket carrying a lunar landing craft. On Friday, Russia launched its first mission to the Moon in nearly half a century, with the launch of a rocket carrying a lunar landing craft. Launching the Luna 25 spacecraft from Russia's Far Eastern spaceport is the country's first lunar mission since 1976, when it was still a part of the Soviet Union. The Russian lunar lander, which was launched on July 14, is scheduled to arrive on the Moon on August 23. Read the earlier version of the story here. On Friday, Russia plans to launch its first lunar mission in nearly half a century, beating India's spacecraft to the lunar South Pole. Russia's Luna 25 lunar mission will be the first since 1976, when the country was still part of the Soviet Union, and the first to be carried out without the help of the European Space Agency, which severed ties with Russia following its invasion of Ukraine. The Russian lunar lander, which was launched on July 14, is scheduled to arrive on the Moon on August 23. Only the Soviet Union, the United States, and China have ever successfully landed on the Moon. Competition is fierce between India and Russia to be the first to set foot on the Moon's South Pole. Russian space agency Roscosmos has stated its goals to be demonstrating Russia as a state capable of delivering a payload to the Moon, and ensuring Russia's guaranteed access to the Moon's surface. Vitaly Egorov, a well-known Russian space analyst, has stated, "Study of the Moon is not the goal. The goal is political competition between two superpowers, China and the United States, and several other countries that want to be recognized as a space superpower as well. Russia's ability to acquire Western technology, which is essential to its space program, has been hampered by sanctions imposed in response to its invasion of Ukraine. The Luna 25 was supposed to transport a small moon rover, but this plan was scrapped in favor of making the craft lighter and more reliable. Foreign electronics are lighter, domestic electronics are heavier, Egorov remarked. While scientists may be tasked with studying lunar water, Roscosmos's primary objective is to set foot on the lunar surface in order to reclaim lost Soviet expertise and learn how to carry out the mission in the modern era. The Luna 25 will be launched from Russia's Far Eastern Vostochny Cosmodrome. Putin has made the spaceport a priority in his quest to transform Russia into a space superpower and relocate Russian launches from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. It is unknown if Putin will be present for the moon landing. Russian media claimed he publicly reprimanded officials in the aftermath of the 2016 Soyuz rocket launch failure. The Indians had tried to land on the Moon's South Pole before, but their lander crashed into the lunar surface in 2019. Researchers are especially curious about the lunar South Pole because they think the permanently shadowed polar craters there may contain water. Future explorers may defrost the water trapped in the rocks to use as breathing oxygen or rocket fuel. The Moon is largely untouched, and the history of the Moon is written on its face, said Ed Bloomer, an astronomer at Britain's Royal Observatory, Greenwich. It's completely untouched and unlike anything else on the planet. It functions as its own experimentation chamber. The Luna 25's mission is to collect lunar soil and dust. As Bloomer put it, otherwise we could be building things and having to shut them down 6 months later because everything has effectively been sand-blasted, so collecting samples of the Moon's environment before constructing a base there is essential. Satish Dhawan Space Center's second launch pad in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh, was the site of Chandrayaan-3's liftoff on July 14. On August 5, the spacecraft inserted itself into a lunar orbit.